No se escucha. No oigo nada.
Muy buenos días.
Good morning, everyone. We welcome you to the launch of the INACAP Center as a Center of UNEVOC, recognized with the UNESCO. Coming up, there's an event with the security recommendations in case of an emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this space in alliance with ACH. We recommend the following measures. In case of emergency, you will leave this center through the exits that are signaled. Do not run. Do not stop walking. If you need to use the stairs, use handles. Stay calm and follow instructions of personnel. In the case of evacuation, help children, the elders, and people with reduced mobility. Stay in the appointed security zone and do not leave the place unless told to do so. INACAP, ACHS. Thank you for your attention.
Saludamos especialmente
We also want to say hello to the Director of UNESCO Santiago, Lucas Palacio, Dean of INACAP, Ana María Sepúlveda, Vice Dean of Vinculation, the members of the Council, any present authorities, students, and everyone joining us through our online transmission on YouTube. Today we have a very meaningful step to the creation of networks on a national and international level, opening new opportunities for academic development of our students. We are really happy that INACAP is part of this network with the Ministry of Education and DUOC, who have as a main goal to contribute to the promotion of technical professional education of our country through exchange spaces, cooperation, and global assistance. With this recognition, we hope to consolidate as change actor in education and as an engine of social mobility, productivity, and economic development for the country. For welcome words, I offer the word to Lucas Palacios.
Muchas gracias, Andrea. Bienvenido.
Thank you, Andrea, and welcome. Especially a good welcome to Esther, to our home. For us, it's a privilege to be part of this transformation network, this network that transforms lives, because in the end, those who are in education, what we look for is to change the lives of people. Our mission, our institutional mission, is to educate with excellence and compromise to all these integral people that change the world, starting with their own worlds. And in that process, we also transform ourselves. We need to keep walking towards a more collaborative world, more sustainable world, a world that provides more opportunities, where equity and integration of people that have not had the chance to be in several spaces have the opportunity to be in said spaces. We are very proud to be part of this network, together with the Ministry of Education and DUOC. The more efforts, the bigger the transformation we will create in society, which is so tied to significant changes. But also, this immigration that we have, from the point of view of education, we are able to provide opportunities to people that are able to change their lives and their families. Women that have a hard time to develop because the doors are closed for them systematically in spaces that culturally have been occupied by men. We also have a very strong commitment with that. Today, with this plaque, we receive a reminder of the values that we share with UNESCO, which are excellence, cooperation, sustainability, learning throughout life. Our society is getting older, progressively, and we also can see it in classroom, where the average age for students is also getting higher. They're getting older. The need to recapacitate men and women that are getting older is also important for the development of them to be able to fight loneliness that many times has a huge impact on the elderly, and also companies that need to be able to provide opportunities to their collaborators. On that line, we are also trying to break the mold. Today, or maybe yesterday, I don't really know, we announced a scholarship, which is the silver and golden scholarship, which means that every single person that wants to study with us in INACAP that are older than 50 years old will automatically study with a 50% discount. Those older than 60 will study for free in this institution. Those are concrete issues that provide us with a world that is more inclusive, with opportunities that many times society closes doors for them. That's why INACAP is present in every single region of our country. To participate of this network and acquiring this plaque also represents our decision of being a bridge between global innovation and concrete necessities that several communities have in our country, in Chile. We are not facing different difficulties than many other countries face. Therefore, to know the experience, to be able to get more information through UNEVOC, which is so important for us because this way we can do a better job. We can offer better services to the community and the country. Thank you so much. We're very proud. Please count on us for our services. Thank you, Dean. Now I will leave with you a video of welcome of Frederick Hublich, boss and head of the center. Dear participants, members of the UNEVOC network, it's such a great pleasure to talk to you in the inauguration of INACAP as a new member of the UNEVOC network. This is a very important opportunity to welcome you to our family of UNEVOC centers, to reaffirm our collective commitment with the strengthening of education and technical professional education. Even before your official admission to UNEVOC, INACAP was already an active partner. With the OQC, they contributed to our work on circular economy, creating important resources in Spanish that are used by students and institutions. Also, they have done central work in certain objectives of Sustainable Development Goals, introducing the 2030 Agenda. These contributions are reflecting of the technical experience and the collaborative spirit and solidarity that you can find in the heart of the UNEVOC network. Their recent decision of being part of this committee of the second regional conference for Latin America and the Caribbean is another show of their active participation. That commitment, assumed in July during the meetings of UNEVOC Network in Quito, shows the disposition of INACAP to lead the dialogue and cooperation in the region. In Latin America and the Caribbean, the AFTP has a very important role when facing certain challenges. The youth faces high levels of unemployment and informality, and in very many cases, they lack the competences to prosper in labor markets that are ever-changing. At the same time, the transitions, digital transformation, and progress towards greener economies create new demands of competences and learnings throughout their lives. We know that FTP systems that are inclusive, they need future conditions that may open opportunities to reduce inequality and promote social cohesion. The UNEVOC network in Latin America and the Caribbean is growing, but we still have a lot to do. To take advantage of its potential, we need institutions like INACAP that are accepting of multilateralism, that provide and lead, and that understand that together we're stronger. We trust that this inauguration and the visibility that it implies also inspires other institutions to join UNEVOC in the following years. This collaboration strengthens the advancements of the main action lines of strategy of UNESCO for the IFTP of 2022 to 2029, ensuring that priorities will be translated into significant congress on a regional and local level. This strategy creates a very ambitious vision to transform the IFTP for successful transitions and fair transitions. The inauguration of INACAP as a UNEVOC center constitutes an important step towards the realization of said vision in Chile and other countries of the region. We hope to work with you to learn from your experience and to construct systems of IFTP that benefit people, economies, and societies. Thank you so much, and welcome to the UNEVOC network.
Now, I'm going to invite Ana María Sepúlveda to the stage so she can tell us about the annual plan of INACAP. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to share with you some aspects of the annual plan that we've been working with the UNEVOC network. We mentioned before, but we know that Chile, as other countries, are facing really fast transformation. The green transition, digital transformation, through opportunities of formation. In that context, the role of education and the technical education is fundamental. Our plan includes two main lines. The first one is oriented to digital transformation with a model of continuous education that incorporates the development of AI in teaching. This line also wants to collaborate with other centers of education. The second, its focus in employment to strengthen the retention and the link with the environment and other companies, especially with other centers of UNEVOC that allowed us to exchange information and the relation with the productive sector and learn together. With these actions, we're trying to move on in areas which UNESCO defined as important: learning through life, innovation, and the development of their programs. We're working with our students, but also with our teachers to improve our quality. I want to conclude with an idea that for us is essential. Internationalization is not a complement. It's an integral part of the technical formation, and this plan, it's a concrete way to give to education a more inclusive perspective with a real impact in our communities. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ana María.
Let's welcome them for the official photography that will be installed in our central center that symbolizes the compromise of INACAP in such an important network. Can you get closer, please?
Porque la voz de nuestros alumnos es fundamental.
Because the voice of our students is fundamental, we're going to provide the floor to Dania. She's from San Pedro de la Paz, and she represented Chile and Latin America in the Forum of Skills 2025 organized by UNESCO in Paris. Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here sharing not only my story, but the certainty that when we believe in our abilities, the limits start to change into opportunities. I'm a mother of 5 kids, student in engineering, and social entrepreneur. I'm telling you this because many times we're taught that there's an order in life. First, you need to study, then work, then to have a family. And maybe at the end to be an entrepreneur. But the reality, rare times follow this order. In my case, everything happened once. And it's more like a motor for me and not a challenge. To be a part of this firm in UNESCO-UNEVOC in Paris was one of the experiences that is more transformational in my life. Not only because I represented Chile in another country, but because I confirmed what it means to have a real institutional support. Thanks to INACAP and spaces such as this one, I was able to bring my project of autism.cl beyond borders, feeling that I have a real network behind pushing every step of the way. At the beginning, I was really scared. I hesitated. I thought I wasn't gonna make it. We have a language barrier, economic barriers, and also administrative, and also those invisible barriers that are from your own head. When you said I can, when you said I don't know how, but I learned that the key was not having all the answers, but daring to find them. I have the support of AI, technology, and my team, and my network, and INACAP. I want to tell you something that is really important. Autism Connects was born from my own experience. As a mother of an autistic kid, I needed clear information and networks of support. From that necessity, a platform was born that today joins a board of doctors and a digital community, where over 12,000 people connected. A solution created for and to neurodivergent families and social innovation, transform a real problem into an opportunity to change. All started when I applied for the funds of Algoe Innova. I was just looking for an opportunity to shape my project. That was the first step that seemed small, that brought me to be the representative of Chile and Latin America, invited by UNESCO-UNEVOC to Paris. That was never in my plans. I never dreamed it. but it happened. And it told me that when you dare to give that first step, even though it's local, the doors of the world opens. In Paris, facing other young people from other cultures, I learned something. We weren't so different. The same dreams joined us together, and the same fears, and the willing to change the world from our location. We connected. For that reason, today, I want to tell you to all the students something that is quite simple. Dare and dare to apply, dare to raise your hand and involve in projects, even though you think that you're not ready, because we are never going to be completely ready. The opportunities happens every day, and the difference of taking them or leave them behind, it's on what you decide to believe or about yourself. I started with hesitation, with fears, without any certainty. Today, I'm here standing as a student, as a mother, as a woman, as an entrepreneur that dared to do it. And if you believe, you also can do it, because the biggest barriers are not economic and social, it's mental. And once you dare to go through them, the world opens. So use your intelligence, use your community, your creativity, and the opportunities that these institutions offers. And when you have doubts, remember, limits only exist in your head, and the future is in your hands. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And now to go deep in the current challenges, especially in dealing with AI, we're going to present Tomás Cifuentes, CEO and founder of Recruit.com.
Hola a todos, muy buenos días.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you, Rector, for opening your doors and inviting me. My name is Tomás Cifuentes. I'm the founder of Recruit. In this presentation, briefly, I'm going to explain 4 items. First, explaining you what we're doing in Recruit, how we're implementing AI, and how we're linking with the market, the new trends, and how the future is going to be. When I received this invitation, we were in Argentina talking about the same topic. It was the second time we were in Argentina presenting. The first time we went to raise capital, we came back with a lot of concepts, and one of the advices that we received was that the track record is related with pitch. So when you go and raise capital, you need to tell them what you're doing, which is more important. So we always, when we start telling what we do, we tell what we're building. We are in over 60 institutions, 8 countries in LATAM, 5 million of graduated and students. We are known for our portal, but we have a lot of solutions that we've been working with the institution, about 15 different solutions. And AI nowadays is what is motivating the most. When we were in Argentina, we were raising capital exactly for that reason. The cost of processing GPT-3 was a lot. We were able to raise it, but that changed. Maybe you remember that in November 2022, we were invited to try this GPT application, and the cost nowadays of that same model, it's around the same price of being in your phone connected. And with Pablo, my partner, I told him, this is the moment to start dreaming with all the models that we always think about. He said, okay, perfect. Let's start with this model, which it was following the patterns of to apply. For example, when you see Netflix movies and just receive offers. We it took 3 months for the team, and the impact, we were called for AWS, but what we are more surprised about is that we receive more applicants. So that brings more collocation, and we can help more students to get a job. Then we started with other models. We introduced other models that were doing analysis of CVs, so we can provide more feedback to the students, and they can simulate interviews. They can see the matching with AOs, and we are automatizing all the models. We're also doing agents of AI with the team here with INACAP. I'm not gonna tell you a spoiler of what we're doing. It's something really fun. And the other thing, it's an analysis model of job intelligence, so that allowed us to go deeper occupations and what they're doing. The system, what it does is to gather all the cycles, every single problem that the student can face during all the point of contact that they can have, and we are raising information, giving that information back to each institution, so after they can have this constant cycle of learning that the doctor mentioned previously. We analyzed over 3 million offers and 500,000 graduates in LATAM, and along the hard skills that are more demanding, we analyze both types of skills. All of them are quite different, so this is quite general. Especially the media are asking for this, so we have a list of the 10 skills, the 10 occupations. We try to not provide that because every occupation is quite different, but this is what we could see the most. Excel is always the king. The abilities of cloud, digitalization is also establishing a trend, and other skills there we can see around 20% is the ones that you can see on the screen, and is the one that they're asking the most to the graduates. Along the occupation, the 5 that they're asking the most, again, this is from the 60 portals, the 60 universities that we work in LATAM. It's not just one. Professionals related to marketing, accounting, human resources, finances. We can see the first alarms in here. There's a decrease in this occupation. The most emblematic case is in softwares. That is also decreasing. At the beginning, it called our attention that it was decreasing a lot. Historically, we always heard that that was increasing, but we thought with the team that with AI, maybe this could also increase, but we have 2 studies. Well, sorry, one study from Stanford that analyzed the headcounts and the payrolls of occupation in the US. And in the case of logistics, the age groups to 27 to 49 is quite similar. In the case of health technician, it's also quite the same. Actually, the graduates, according to this, they have a little raise, but in the case of software engineering, the graduates are decreasing, the offer for them. In the case of the seniors, it's still the trend of growing up a little bit, but we can see the seniors can do other jobs like analytics, that is also quite interesting. And there's a decrease for the recent graduates. We don't want to be pessimistic. We actually want to be the opposite, but it's important to have the data, especially when we have 5 leaders of technology with a lot of funds behind, following and looking for the super intelligence of AI. So the force is gonna split more than what we see during digitalization. So we need to support them. We need to prepare them for the challenges that are coming. Another sector that the neural networks of the same models are increasing. As a country, we We can help in the energy sector, especially for this model, so we have a big opportunity right there. In the case of that we can see that are going to be quite important, one is to be native in AI, know the algorithms behind critical thinking necessary to not be manipulated in this case, and know all the content. Adaptability, of course, to be able to learn, relearn constantly, especially in the team. Every week we have a different model, so we have to constantly check what we're doing. Networking, which is, for example, what you are doing in the case of internationalize, so the students can have an opportunity that it's really important outside, and the entrepreneur thinking. So we're not going to have this typical job life. Instead of being just a ladder that you go up, I'm going to check the different opportunities that are going to be presented to me. It's going to be a new process. Everybody needs to be their own CEO in their life to start building these new opportunities. We're going to be constantly helping behind with everything that we can to support the mission of the institutions. And I invite you to keep on working together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tomas. I open the word to the audience if anyone has a question regarding the presentations today. No? Anyone? Well then, thank you, everybody. It was very clear we need to adapt. Well, we have reached the end of this ceremony that marks the beginning of a new chapter of international cooperation. The UNEVOC network is constituted as the central engine for common learning, the development of capacities, and the improvement of education in technical professional education in the world. With this, INACAP reaffirms their commitment with the institution with innovation and the quality of education in the service of the country and our global unity. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And now we invite you to share a coffee in the auditorium. Thank you so much.